Today I'm going to share with you one quality that can make the difference between success and failure in your life. It's called victim's mentality. What is victim's mentality? Well, victim's mentality means that you are acting and feeling like a victim in your own life. Now, please understand, there is a difference between trauma and drama. And we are not talking about trauma in this situation. We're not talking about terrible things happening to you. We are talking about you feeling out of control of your own life, where you feel like you're living in the passenger seat instead of in the driver's seat of your own life, where things are just happening to you and you can't seem to get control of your life and you're just being swept around in your own life. That is what we're talking about. And there are 3 surefire signs of a victim. I was taught this many, many years ago. I wish I could remember where I learned this concept, because I would be so grateful and so happy to give credit to whoever or wherever I learned this from, whatever book I read it in. I cannot remember, but I can remember that learning this concept totally changed my life. 3 symptoms of victim's mentality. Number 1 is blaming. Number 2 is complaining. And number 3 is justifying. So what do these 3 things mean? Blaming. Well, that's an easy one. So long as you're blaming everything, blaming everyone around you, blaming the weather, blaming your circumstances, blaming your teachers, blaming your parents, blaming the government, blaming God, whatever you're blaming, those are the things that are always going to be just outside of your reach. That means that you are never going to be able to take full responsibility for your own outcome. And as long as you are blaming, you are an absolute victim in your life. So look around you. Whenever you're blaming, you're giving away your power. Can you think of anything in your life or any season in your life or any situation or circumstance where you were blaming the people, the circumstances, or the events around you? If you can, go back, think through that, and see if you can rewrite that situation in your mind. You can't go back and redo it, but in your mind, can you rewrite that situation where you stop blaming and you take responsibility? Now, please understand, again, I would never dream of undermining the hardships that you are facing in your life. But I know for a fact that life is only 10% what happens to us, and it's 90% how we respond. So if I'm going to take full responsibility for everything in my life, it's the exact opposite of living like a victim. Now, I may not have caused the thing may not have been my fault, but it doesn't matter whose fault it is. We're not trying to assign blame to anyone. What we're trying to do is take responsibility, take back our power so that we can start to create a different outcome, a different result, a different reality. Do you agree? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 surefire sign of victim's mentality is complaining. Complaining, oh my gosh, this is such a hard one. And I have to tell you, the first time I heard this, I really remember like my stomach tightening up, because I loved to complain. There have been seasons in my life where I just love complaining about everything going on around me. And if I get into a very negative place, I can just start spewing on everyone all the time because I'm angry, I'm mad, and I'm pouting that my life doesn't look different. And so one of the things that were such a big game changer for me, a thought shift for me, were that if I'm complaining, it means I'm a victim. Why? Because if I could be doing something about it, I would. And if I can't do anything about it, then I'm just going to complain. They're like, well, if you can do something, clearly you would. So because you can't do it, then you're complaining. So that makes you a victim, because if you could do it, clearly, I'm sure you wouldn't be here just I'm sure you would shut up and go get to work to fix the situation, right? And as I thought about that, I thought, whoa, maybe it's just easier to complain than it is to actually suck it up and get uncomfortable, step out of my comfort zone, and go do whatever work will be required to actually change my situation. And y'all, I can tell you this. If you are complaining, if you are breathing negative energy into the people around you all the time, okay, that will spread like a cancer. It is definitely not what we want to give into the world around us. We know that words can kill or words can give life. So we have to think about it. What kind of energy are we creating in the world around us by our words? So obviously we want to focus on positive talk as much as we possibly can, but we want to make sure that we're never complaining. And if the words that are coming out of our mouth could be perceived or misconstrued as complaining, how can we work ourselves and how can we really, really become aware and start to shift our dialogue, our inner dialogue that creates our outer dialogue, so that we can just rein it back in and choose to speak differently. Even if it means that we have to bite our tongue until we are bleeding just to not be complaining, okay? So number one sign of victim's mentality is blaming. Number two is complaining. And as I said, number three is justifying. What does justifying means? Well, basically it means that you are making excuses for why the things are in your life. So why the bar is set so low, why your performance is set so low, why your outcome is so low. And I'm saying so low, low is relative. It means beneath where you want it, right? Not so low based on anybody else's standards, but only based on yours. We're not comparing ourselves to other people, y'all. The only thing that happens when we compare ourselves to other people is inevitably we are comparing their strengths to our weaknesses. And of course, we never measure up. And of course, we're our own toughest critic. So all we want to do is we want to use other people and their successes as inspiration, as benchmarks, and as proof of what's possible. But not so that we start beating ourselves up and start comparing ourselves and wishing that things were different. Because again, if we're just wishing, that's giving away our power, right? So if I'm justifying, it means I am making up excuses, or I am giving reasons for why things are the way they are in my life. So, oh, it's just who I am. Oh, it's just my personality. Oh, it's just the way I was raised. Oh, it's just the way things are today. Oh, it's just the world we live in. Oh, it's just an excuse. I want you to remember that. Justification is just an excuse. And if we can stop justifying and stop making excuses for ourselves, y'all, everything in your world can change. So I have a challenge for you today. I want to challenge you to start to become aware of where in your life you may be doing little things to undermine your own potential and undermine your own power. Where are you allowing yourself to complain every now and then, or to blame every now and then, or even to justify every now and then? And when you find yourself mid-conversation, complaining, blaming, or justifying, just stop. Whoop! I didn't mean to say that. I don't want to go there. La, 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 la. I'm taking my words back. I'm changing the subject. I'm moving on to something else. Just stop in the middle. And over time, you will find that you're able to stop yourself just right before the words come out. And then over time, you'll find that you're able to stop yourself from even thinking that pattern and forcing yourself to create a new shift, a new thought pattern. And then over time, eventually, you'll be able to have a new thought from the beginning. You won't even be inclined to think that way anymore. Remember, what you think about, you speak about. What you bring about is your reality. Okay? So, when we know that, we can totally and completely take full responsibility for everything in our life. You can change your whole world. But it will absolutely require that you give up victim's mentality and you say, instead of being a victim in any area of my life anymore, I am going to choose to be a victor. Love you guys. See you next time on our Digging Deeper vlog. Bye for now.